I'm Angie, and you're watching Dontae's Boxingnation.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? So Edgar Berlanga, he bites his way to victory against Alexis Angulo. He ends up winning a unanimous decision in a very lackluster fight. It's rather ironic because in Berlanga's last fight against Steve Rose, Berlanga, he didn't look good in that fight, and he said it was because Steve Rose didn't come to fight. He just wanted to run. But yet in this fight, it was Edgar Berlanga who was doing all of the backpedaling, and it was Angulo who was coming to fight a toe-to-toe fight. And unlike Devin Haney last weekend against George Kambosos, Edgar Berlanga, he was not dominant. He didn't control range. He didn't have this great jab or this great accurate right hand. It looked like an amateur fight. That's honestly what it really looked like. This fight, it looked like the first undercard fight of a big event, where there's two guys fighting, you never heard of any one of them, and you're just waiting for the main event to start. Like I said, the fight, it wasn't that entertaining. By ESPN's own admission, they kept using the word uninspiring. That's how they describe Edgar Berlanga's performance. But remember, by way of contrast, when it came to Shakur Stevenson versus Nakatalia, Joe Kriegel, who wasn't even calling the fight that night, he sent a tweet to the team, and he said in the middle of that fight, if Shakur doesn't want to be called boring, then he needs to do more. But yet Mark Kriegel, he never said this about Edgar Berlanga. And I'm sure because racism in boxing doesn't exist, all the fans are going to now start calling Edgar Berlanga a boring fighter that does nothing but run and bite his opponents, right? We know what time it is. So Berlanga, he didn't put on a great performance. He looked extremely flawed. He was getting hit with a lot of shots by Angulo. Berlanga had his nose busted. He was bleeding over his eye. You would have thought Berlanga was in the ring with David Benavidez. I'm telling you guys right now, if Berlanga steps up in competition and takes on any tough challenge, I'm talking about someone with a winning streak, an undefeated fighter, he's going to lose. At this stage, I don't even know if he can beat a David. Edgar wouldn't even beat a John Ryder. So I don't know how they're going to match up Edgar. I mean, the biggest thing that happened in this fight with Angulo was Edgar trying to bite him. And then Edgar actually admitted after the fight. He admitted, yeah, I was trying to bite him. I was trying to pull off a Mike Tyson. So he was willing to get disqualified in a fight against a journeyman that he was supposed to beat easy. I'm telling you guys right now, they better match Edgar Berlanga very, very carefully. And I'm not just talking about right now, but I'm talking about for the rest of his professional career. I mean, outside of his power, there is nothing that he does in particular that is really impressive. He doesn't have some great jab. He doesn't have some great right hand, some great counter left hook. He doesn't go to the body in some tremendous way. He doesn't even have good foot movement. Speaking of foot movement, you have a lot of boxers that just move around the ring for no reason at all because they're trying to figure out what to do next. They're not frustrating their opponent, they're moving because they're frustrated. A master boxer with a high boxing IQ, he's using certain movements in the ring to set you up with something. He already knows what he wants to do. This is not Edgar Berlanga, and that was the reason why, even though he was the guy doing the moving in the ring, he was the one that looked beat up. So for some of these racist fans that like to use code words like running in the ring, according to your logic, your definition of the word, that's exactly what Edgar Berlanga did, and he still looked horrible in this fight. He still looked beat up. He still didn't put on a dominant performance. And because neither him or Angulo really did a whole lot in this fight, it can be argued if Berlanga even won this fight against the journeyman Angulo. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, Visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
How has this changed your life, man?
It's been good. It's been good. I feel younger, I look younger. Picking up the younger girls. I just get scratch that, but it's been good. It's been good. I like the look. I like the feel. I feel more confident now. It was money well spent.
Now, in terms of the response, what has been people said, like, as people being like, hey, what do you have on your head, or things of that sort?
The most response I get is like, yo, what barber you go to? They get, such a close shave with, everything lined up so sharp and everything. And, then I go into explaining to them the procedure of what I had done and everything. And they all was like, I would never done if you didn't point.
Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man ScalpCarolinas on Instagram.